All right. How are you? Welcome to this short video. Robert here, going to show you how you can take my $600,000 agency template. At the time of this recording, that is roughly how much this website has generated for my agency on autopilot. So what you got to do is just click the link, go to Clickfunnels, sign up for a free 2-week trial, which will give you access to the template. Just kind of put in your email and password on the right. And once you've done that, you'll end up in a place that looks like this. So let's click Edit Page, and I'm going to open this in a new tab. And you can preview it by clicking there. And this is the template. So I've laid everything out in a way that it's kind of like you just replace it with your own information. You know, whatever you have, put it in there, and whatever you don't have, well, let's work towards getting that, such as building up your team and getting more testimonials and things of that nature. So what you can do right off the top is try to call out your audience, hey, business owners, whatever. You want a headline that is very specific about what you offer and talks about the problem that you solve. If you can somehow add scarcity by having a legitimate timer, that's really useful. And then I would kind of expand a little bit right here about your offer. And then we've put a little button here to place an order. And if you can have a video, that is fantastic. If not, just remove the video for now. So you can just click the little trash can. And then we've got this kind of sticky section at the top. So if we preview the page, you'll see that this section kind of stays, which is nice. But you can get rid of that if you want. And the way to do that is to just go into the settings and change the stickiness to no stickiness. Otherwise, let's go in and fill in the blanks, so to speak. So if you've got previous clients, that is really good. And by the way, let me address something right off the bat. When it comes to working with previous clients, when it comes to having a portfolio, there's a way to get a portfolio and to get something to put in here in the previous client logo section without having done it. And the way you do that is, let's say I'm selling web design. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post a job on Upwork.com, for example, and I'm going to initiate conversations with web designers, and I'm going to find maybe like a top 3 list of people that once I get a client, I'm actually going to hire them, or one of them, right? So what I'll do is, let's say I talk to these 3 people, and I'm like, well, Jim seems really good. I like his pricing. He's the guy I want to hire when I get a sale. So I'll tell Jim, look, I'm just setting up my website and I'm working on getting my first client. As soon as I do, I'm going to give you some work. And, I think it'll help if you allow me to put some of your previous work on our website. Are you cool with that? Usually they have no problems with it. So what you can do then is you get access to Jim's previous clients, and that's, fully legitimate, because these are the person that's going to do the job for your client is the same person who did the job for these previous clients. So it's not like you're, just making shit up, right? And you can do the same with portfolio. So that's that addressed. So yeah, if you're able to do that, put in some previous clients. Otherwise, just kind of delete this section, but you want to delete as little as possible from here. Same with the case study. So if you can put a case study here that talks about the results that people get from the thing that you're selling, go out there on Google and try to find a case study of somebody who bought something similar that you're selling and had amazing results, and write about it. Just don't pretend that you are the one who did it. Just talk about it in a general sense, like this is what these guys got out of it. Then we want to identify their problem. So this is really important, right? And you're going to learn more about this. And if you're starting from scratch, you should do some competitor research and check out other agency websites in your niche, and you'll find what they talk about. Mostly they suck at it, but if you look at enough of them, you'll figure out what type of problem they try to address, and that's a good starting point for you to address those as well. So once you've identified the problem, then we want to agitate the problem. We want to twist the knife a little bit. So talk about, what's going to happen if they don't address the problem. So if their problem is they're not getting new clients on in their business, then what's going to happen with that? Well, you might have to close your business. Everybody who doubted you is going to be right about doubting you, etc., etc. So that's a little good way to bring up some emotions into the whole thing. And then we want to introduce the solution in a general sense. So we're going to say here that if the problem is that you're not getting clients, well, the solution to that is twofold. One is that you don't have enough people that see your website, and two is that your website is actually not designed to close sales. It's designed to look good. For example, so we're talking about the solution, we're not talking about our service. And then, we transition into our service in the next section. And by the way, like whatever you can add images and icons and stuff, you want to, because it's kind of bare at the moment. So you can talk about how you solve that problem. And then you want to talk about showing results of your service. So this is where ideally you start to get your own results and testimonials and stuff that you can put here. If not, again, try to find some case studies and just don't pretend that you've done work that you haven't done, right? Or people on your team. Then we want to show the process, and the reason we do this is if you're selling something like web design, a lot of your clients have never been involved in a web design project before. So they're going to be completely clueless as to what happens once I place an order. Like, how does this whole thing work? And if they don't have the answer to that, well, they're not going to buy from you. So put the answer to that question on your website. So you can change these icons here. You can write out the steps, like place an order. Step number 2, fill out the brief. Step number 3, send us your images and your text. Step number 4, we send you a draft of your website. Step number 5, just keep it simple and give them answer their question of like, what's going to happen next. We usually do a 30-day money-back guarantee. I think as far as my business goes, since I've been doing it, 2012, I think it's pretty consistently that we have about a 1% refund rate. So it doesn't really matter with our pricing. The refund rate was about 1% and probably even less, to be honest. But it does lower the risk of working with you. So we do get a lot of people asking us about the guarantee. And so, yeah, we actually believe that it helps us convert in the long run. And then you want to ask for their order. So call to action. And, I usually suggest having not one package and not more than, 3 or 4. So you want to have 2 or 3 or 4 packages. And then you can kind of list out what's included and not included in the different ones. And then you want to go crazy with testimonials if you can. You should start asking everybody for a testimonial. And as you can see, I kind of made them to kind of Amazon style because I think people recognize that style. And then we got frequently asked questions. Another reason, right, or another way to make sure that we address everything that's on their mind so they can actually make a purchase. So as you learn more about what are the most common questions, and you can learn a lot about this from your competitors, just start adding them. I'd rather have too much information than too little information on my side. And then I usually just put, our team, and you can do the same thing. Like if you decided that Jim's awesome, I'm going to hire Jim for web design. Well, ask if Jim wants to be on your website. It's not going to make or break your business, but it does add a little bit of credibility. And the other thing that I don't have on here that's going to look a little different depending on what you're selling is some type of portfolio. So I would throw that, we have it quite high, but it would be somewhere after, where you introduce your service. So, between showing your results, so maybe just put this in here, add portfolio items here. So that might be videos, that might be website links, etc., etc., etc. Pretty cool. And then so, you can just go in, you can edit text, you can change icons, like you can click on that, You can go to advanced, and you can scroll down to the icon picker, you can choose a different icon. You can add rows, you can add sections, you can change backgrounds, like here, you can remove that picture, etc., etc. And you can kind of make it your own. You don't want to just copy what I have, you want to put your own style on it. And that is a really good way for you to get an awesome head start on your agency website. And I want to show you one last thing here with the scrolling. So we've got this menu, right? So since we're doing a one-pager website, let's say these links are going to scroll to different sections of our website. So let me just show you how to do that. So let's say I would like to scroll down to the portfolio items. So I'm going to go to the settings, and then I'm going to click the little hashtag here, and I'm going to catch this information. So let me rename this to portfolio and update. And then I think I can just put, so let's say scroll number 3 would be the portfolio. So I'm going to throw in a link and I'll just write scroll portfolio. I think that should work. Let's try it. Preview that. And there you go. It scrolled down to my portfolio. So that is how you can add links here if you'd like. And then as far as ordering goes, you have a couple of options. What I would typically do for an agency, given that every client is slightly different in what they want, it's difficult to just have 2 packages and no add-ons and no upsells and stuff like that. So I like to use Jotform. Jotform will allow your clients to basically use your form, and you can embed it here on your website. They can use your form and they can kind of choose everything they want. So if I'm doing web design, well, let's say I go for the small package, which includes like, a WordPress installation, 4 sub pages, and some basic SEO. And let's say I want to add an extra 2 sub pages. I want to throw in a video, an animated video. And so they can just kind of go through a list of things like a form, right? And they can tick all the boxes and it'll calculate their price for them right on the spot. And then they can place their order and either pay through PayPal right away or Stripe, something like that. Or you can just get an email with their order and you can get started and send them an invoice, for example. Depends on what kind of solution you're working with there. But yeah. And by the way, this is a big one. This is crucial, I wrote here. Give out a 10% discount or whatever for bulk orders, or you can put a certain amount. Like if if your order is over $2,000, we'll give you a 10% discount or something like that. That had a tremendous impact on my business actually. So that one little sentence or these 2 sentences had a huge impact. So definitely make sure you add that. And there you go. That is my agency template ready for you to start getting clients on autopilot. Hope you have an awesome day. Ciao.